Let's talk a little bit about your program, The Road Ahead, and the Indigenous Heart. I really like this quote. It says, "It is no longer enough to simply focus on healing the emotional wounds of the past, finding your passion in life, and following your bliss. We live in a world that is crying out for the gifts of medicine that you alone carry, the gift that you came here to deliver." So tell us more about this program. And
That intro reminds me of a quote that came out of Ireland, I think during the potato famine, that says, "It is in the shelter of each other that we live. It is in the shelter of each other that we live." And when I think about my own progression and evolution, and this idea of, find your passion, find your bliss, follow your bliss, it's like, yes, and. It's like I think there's more needed. To not just follow one's individual passion, bliss, but to remember. In Africa they say all knowledge is simply remembering. Western ideology is you're born and you figure out what to do in your life based on your aptitude and the larger cultural values. I always knew the cultural values of where you live is you just look around and find the tallest buildings, and that will tell you what the cultural values are.
Right.
That's the mythos or mythology of modernity, we could say. The indigenous mythos is something like you would have made agreements with your ancestors before coming here about a gift that you're bringing that you see is desperately needed. And those agreements would be what carry you into this world. And the initiatory passages you go through in your life are to wake up the memory of these agreements so that you can bring to the people this gift that you carry that is needed. And our job is to help bring that out because there's something you carry that we need.
And is this, how do you approach this in your programs?
So in this particular, the road ahead in the Indigenous heart is offering the question and some tools that say, how do we navigate forward by drawing on the wisdom of the past? What can we draw on from indigenous culture that will help us navigate forward in a clear and conscious way in good relationship with each other? And not just human each other's, but all creation. These standing tall ones around us, the health of that river over there. What is my relationship to all of these things as a reflection of wellness? There's sometimes talk of now of have we crossed the threshold where we may not make it? Maybe the earth will make it, but have we crossed the threshold as humans where we're headed down this road that doesn't look good? Some say yes, some say no, some say grace can happen. But I would pose this question. If you and I were walking down a road, and at the end of that road, we knew that our life would end, how then would we live in relationship to each other now? And can that awareness and consciousness help us navigate forward in a good way, rather than a fearful way? Those are the questions that I bring to this workshop.
And so those questions, I'm curious if somebody was a participant in your workshop where they weren't clear on what their gift was or their next step. How would you present bringing that out in that person?
Well, I think of it this way, and this is where I have unpsychologized myself.
Okay.
Which is they may not be clear of the gift that they carry and the connection to the ancestors that support that gift. But that gift is clear about who they are, and those ancestors know who they are.
Yeah.
And going into nature, going into stillness, and letting all of the distractions fade away.
Yes.
What rises up are those memories, those connections, those awarenesses. Right? That there is a quieting of all that inner distraction or turmoil that happens. It may take a day, 2 days, it may take several days, but it will begin to quiet. And your awareness and your internal ease will begin to vibrate at this frequency. And so things become really clear. So it is in ritual and in community that these awakenings occur. What I think of as soul work is not this ascent into a spirituality of complete oneness. Soul work is a descent into memory and belonging. And in those places of descent, we dig, like digging amongst the roots of trees, we find things there that we bring back. And so I'm suspect at times of this, what I call spiritual bypass, where people gravitate toward the sense of spirituality, but they haven't gone on this initiatory descent. The place where the tears and the laughter of those who have come before us live down there. And in a way of honoring, and in a way of acknowledging, and sometimes simply in a way of feeling. So that if somebody in your lineage did not get grieved properly, that grief will become, as some say, like a hungry ghost that will start to move through the family system and show up differently. So there's this understanding of we are linked, not only ancestrally, but also through creation, and we're like pebbles dropped in a pond. You know, the ripple is going to cross this pond eventually. And what is the ripple that we want to send? And
there seems to be a fair amount of, when you're talking about this, of acknowledgement along with responsibility that we have to the generation and our ancestors, as well as future generations.
Yeah, this idea of find your bliss, follow your bliss is about that which is in service to another. I always said that the place your passion intersects with the needs of your people is where you're going to thrive, and it's where you're needed. And so in ritual and ceremony, as the Lakota say, homatakuyasin, there's a cross-cultural sentiment that ritual and ceremony were not simply done for those present. They were done for the ones not here. And so when you go up on the mountain, as in the initiatory quest, you don't go up there just for you. That's an old kind of psychological workshop mentality. You go up there, as the Old Testament prophets say, you go up there so that your people can live. So you go up there to reconnect more deeply with that you have to offer. And so it's not just a gift, it is a responsibility. Because if you don't deliver it, it's not going to happen.
Right.
Nobody else can be you.